The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Those who are liking, sharing, commenting, I say thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Are all in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the most loved, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has given us another amazing reason for us to be proud of. We know these leaders sat in Africa and told us that Africans, we do not have anything. There are some politicians who tell us that the meat is gone. What is left with is the bones, as if the bones do not also have nutrients that the body needs. So, we cannot do anything for Africa. We can't do anything for our nations. And that is the reason to which our nations are stagnant and we cannot grow. So we have to go to IMF, go to World Bank for them to support us. And even when these things finally come, we don't know what these people use them for. So we are always sitting here portraying ourselves to be poor, telling the world how poor we are, and always we need to go out and beg. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré is proving to these people that leadership is not about how fat your bank account is as a country. It's about how you are able to use the little money that you have to solve the problems of your people. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has given his people 30 billion CFA franc worth farm equipment. And we ask ourselves, where did Captain Ibrahim Traoré get all these things from? When we know that they say Burkina Faso is poor, when the other leaders who came couldn't do anything for their nation, where did Captain Ibrahim Traoré get all these things from?
Head of State Captain Ibrahim Traoré has just carried out a series of handovers of equipment and health infrastructures, an ultra-mobile field hospital to the Ministry in charge of Defense, and a significant batch of equipment to the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal and Fishery Resources. These actions are part of the head of state's commitment to provide solutions to agricultural and health challenges, as we are told. William Akile Kabili.
Equipment to develop hydro-agricultural infrastructures and support the agro-pastoral offensive. Valued at 13 billion CFA francs, this equipment consists of 10 wheel loaders, 10 excavators, 10 graders, 33 sheep's foot compactors, 25 bulldozers, 2 backhoe loaders, and 10 compactors. Rolling stock, including 2 fuel tankers, 6 water tankers, 18 dump trucks, 3 low-bed trailers, 3 crane trucks, and 5 concrete mixers, handed over to the ministry in charge of agriculture by the head of state, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, for the benefit of the National Office of Dams and Developments, Hydro-Agricultural, ONB, and the National Land Development and Rural Equipment Company, Sonater.
This is the translation into concrete actions of the vision of His Excellency of the Faso plan, who kindly, during the 2024 budget exercise, made an additional allocation of 13 billion CFA francs intended for the acquisition of these machines. And a few months later, here we are, of course, in front of these machines.
This equipment, which ONBA and Sonata are beneficiaries of, is intended to carry out development work to make water resources and necessary resources available to increase agricultural production. In the dynamic of food self-sufficiency,
the implementation of the Presidential Initiative for Agricultural Production, and also the OM 2023-2025 Agro-Pastoral Offensive, which are being implemented in our country and have already yielded results, but have also identified the main challenge as the issue of water mobilization to ensure that we increase our production under total water control.
Ensure that these machines can be an additional factor for success. From the implementation of the Presidential Initiative for Agricultural Production and the 2023-2025 Agro-Pastoral Offensive, this is the instruction from the head of state. And the minister in charge of agriculture says he has committed with the president of Faso to put these machines to work as soon as possible. The gesture of the head of state did not stop there. He is realizing the idea of bringing care to the front for quick and effective treatment of the injured.
I officially hand over the keys to these field hospitals to you. I think the trend will be like this from now on. Absolutely. The time to often evacuate some of the injured, doing it on the way, is to ensure having quite modern hospitals at the front, which have been supported. So make good use of it, have a good journey. Thank you, thank you.
an ultra-modern mobile field hospital for the benefit of the Ministry of Defense. Composed of 2 vehicles, this field hospital, with an autonomy of 8 hours, is intended for the prompt care of combat force members injured in operation.
First, there is the imaging vehicle. The imaging vehicle allows for all diagnostics to be performed. The diagnostics, including through the scanner, X-ray, and laboratory. The second vehicle, which is an operating room vehicle, is equipped to perform surgeries. It is also equipped with a blood bank fridge that allows for storing blood and bringing it to the field to do the work.
In addition to the medical care of wounded combat forces, this mobile field hospital has a psychological impact on soldiers at the front. This hospital setup is accompanied by a set of 80 foldable hospital beds. This mobile hospital can also be deployed to support a hospital center for certain emergency treatments.
He's proven to these people that yes, everything is possible. What is it that we lack? We have to find a way of making that thing come into existence. We don't always have to go around begging people to come into our homes to solve our problems. We should be able to generate the money that we need to solve the problems that we are facing in the family. And this is amazing. This is the reason to which we love Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Because these people are doing everything possible, telling us that African can manage his or her own affairs. Like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah rightfully said. Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, in this our generation, we don't understand why we have all the mineral resources, yet we are poor. So if he do not understand, he has to find a way of making sure that this statement that he made, we see the fruitfulness of it. Politicians always move from one place to the other. Politicians always want to complain why Africans do not have and why we are not progressing. But what are you doing as a leader to solve that problem? What are you doing with the little that you have to turn it into the solution of your people? And that's why we always say, learn leadership from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. When they took power, people said they didn't have the money. And even the countries, they are bankrupt. It is a poor country. It is that. But what these people are doing for their respective countries, those who sat there and claim, and they always call them to constitutional rule and say they are the giant of Africa, they are still where they are. Their citizens are still hungry. Their citizens are still not getting potable drinking water. Sovereignty has been a problem. Captain Ibrahim Traoré said we need to be self-sufficient. We need to be self-sufficient. These people who sit down to be cutting ties with Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, willing to go and fight them because they are doing the right thing, are the same people who are going there begging them for food. These people, within the shortest possible time, are being able to make sure they are self-sufficient in every aspect. When was that we saw tractors? Now look at the excavators, look at the tankers, look at all these things that Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing. And instead of us to all come together and learn the model that suits Africa, we are still sitting here holding on to the model of the West that isn't beneficial to the African. Every society has what is going to work for them. So if we are in Africa and we want to always practice what is not going to work for us, we'll continue to be backwards. But because we want to please oppressor, because we want to make things that will do well and make sure the oppressor is always pleased, to always say it is this country that is doing best, we always want to hear the praises of these people. That is why Africa is not moving forward, because we are not using things that will suit the environment of our people. If not, we know what we can do best. You can't have an education that belongs to somebody and expect your people to move forward. Never. You can't have a system that is working perfectly for some environment and you adopt it expecting that that thing should work for you. It will never work for you now, because their environment and your environment are not the same. That is why we can't be wearing coats in Africa in this hot sun. We can't. It is not possible. Africans cannot wear that because coat doesn't suit that environment of the African. Here is hot. These people are wearing those things because they are living in a very cold weather. So if they are wearing those things, you see, it's fine. But Africans always want to do things that will please other people. We always want to take and emulate things that are meant for other people. Other people are not taking the African way of life because that way doesn't suit their environment. But Africa is quick in learning everything of any other person, implementing it in Africa, living what will work for us. And that is why Captain Ibrahim Traoré is thriving. That is why Captain Ibrahim Traoré is moving forward as a nation. That is why we love Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, because they try to solve our problems, looking at our situation and using the African way to solve the African problem. We all have to learn. We have to unite. There is no pride in learning from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. If we see America, Canada, Germany doing something is working for them, and we can easily tap into it when we know very well it's not working in Africa, why can't we also tap into the knowledge of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso that are working for the environment? Because we are all living in the same environment, the same weather, the same climate. The African can never move forward if we don't start to use or implement the African solutions to African problems. If we keep on using other people's solutions to solve our problems, we will never move forward. And this is what these people always want to use us for. You can never use a basket to carry water. It is not possible. We have to unite. We are one people. There is no harm in using what is working for Mali, what is working for Niger, and what is working for Burkina Faso. We love you, our heroes, for standing up to the truth and sacrificing everything to give us all that we need. And we know the battle is not going to be easy, but we know with you in front, we will get to our destination. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.